and we'll cross off the ones who are not.
Okay.
So, and then, so the exact opposite of what you have on here.
Okay.
So we'll cross off the ones who are.
I would like to welcome everybody to our Veterans Day celebration. To start this morning's ceremony, I would like to thank the people who made this event possible. Our cooks for preparing the delicious breakfast, and NHS for serving it. Our custodians for helping us set up and take down. Our elementary choir and our middle and high school band for the performances that you will hear. All the artwork that our students have put on display for you. Our board members for their support. And last but not least, our Veterans Day Committee who put this event together, and they do a great job. Thank you to them. Thank you to everybody that helped. And now to give our opening remarks, our Master of Ceremonies, retired Lieutenant Colonel Keith Goodhouse.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Mr. Turgeon. Welcome to today's ceremony. As you all know, this is a special day for all of our veterans, and we truly appreciate all of you for taking time to come and celebrate with us today. Veterans Day honors all veterans, living, whether it was their time with the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, whether they were active or reserve, officer, enlisted, wartime, peacetime. Today honors all of them. And I think all of us would agree that it is our honor to serve this great nation. Before we start our ceremony today, I'm going to introduce a new tradition to this annual event. Before we start, and this was something I did a lot when we were on active duty, when we had military ceremonies, military balls, we would take a moment to recognize our fallen comrades, as well as those who were prisoners of war and missing in action. I would call your attention to this small table to my left. It occupies a place of honor near our stage. It's set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They are commonly referred to as the fallen, POWs or MIAs, and they are our comrades in arms. They're unable to be with their loved ones and families today, so we join with them in this humble tribute. This table set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one life alone against an army of oppressors. The single flower in the vase reminds us of the family and friends of our fallen or missing brothers and sisters who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the base represents the red ribbons worn on the lapels of the thousands who demand with unyielding determination a proper accounting of our brothers and sisters who are not among us today. A sliced lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless fallen tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us today. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope, which lives in our hearts to illuminate their way home, away from their captors, to the open arms of the grateful nation, or to a peaceful rest. Let us pray that all of our comrades will soon be back within our ranks or resting in the peace of good and faithful service to their grateful nation. Let us remember. Now, I also want to take this opportunity to thank our committee, staff, and faculty who organized this event. A lot of work goes into putting this all together. Special thanks to our students who served breakfast and provided artwork, signing, music, letters, and the direction of their teachers. Thank you to the custodial staff, the cooks, and the Knox County R-1 School Board and Administration for making this celebration possible. Thank you also to our VFW and our American Legion posts for their part in this ceremony. Please join me in a round of applause for all of them. At this time, please join me by rising as we render honors to the flag. After the national anthem, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Take their place to sign the Pledge of Allegiance. As we recite it, if you would please stay on my pace. It will help the signers keep up with everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. At this time, our elementary music students will sing Bank of That. Mr. Ed Anderson has graciously volunteered once again to guide our student representatives through this process. So can I ask them all to come forward at this time? And I've got your names, so you can write. Bryce Cameron, Renea Holiday, Jeremiah Waller, Nora Penn, Deborah Holiday, and Kinsey Mount. As they're moving into place, I'll give you a brief introduction to this ceremony. In the military, the flag is lowered daily on the last note of the retreat. Special care should be taken that no part of the flag touches the ground. The flag is then carefully folded into the shape of a tri-cornered hat, emblematic of the hats worn by colonial soldiers during the War for Independence. In the folding, the red and white stripes are finally wrapped into the blue as the light of day vanishes into the darkness of night. And now step one. To properly hold the flag, begin by holding it waist high so that its surface is parallel to the ground. Step two, hold the lower half of the stripe section lengthwise over the field of stars, holding the bottom and top edges securely. Step three, hold the flag again lengthwise with the blue field on the outside. Step 4, make a triangular fold by bringing the striped corner of the folded edge to meet the open top edge of the flag. In step 5, we turn the outer point inward, parallel to the open edge, to form a second triangle. Folding is continued until the entire length of the flag is folded in this manner. When the flag is completely folded, only a triangular blue field of stars should be visible. This is the hard part. There it is. I think at this time, Mr. Anderson has an announcement for our audience.
Thank you, Colonel. It is a custom to recognize any student who has a birthday today. If you have a birthday today, please stand up and wave. I see one. Is there another? We have two. We have a gift for you because you are special. And so our police and post commander in Edina is giving these students a $10 bill. Thank you and happy birthday.
At this time, I'd like to introduce our guest of honor and our guest speaker today, Mr. John Brown. John's full bio is available in the program, so I'll provide you with a condensed version in order to maximize his time with you. John was born in Quincy, Illinois, and graduated from Marion County High School. After graduation and additional schooling at Culver Stockton, William Woods, University of Maryland, and Syracuse University, John enlisted in the Army in April of 1992. He's just a young man. He was a military police officer, computer-guided weapons system specialist, and chief of public affairs. John served at multiple locations inside the U.S., and he's been stationed in Hawaii, Germany, Ireland, Macedonia, Korea, Japan, Thailand, the Philippines, South America, Kuwait, Iraq, and Afghanistan. His awards include, it's not all-inclusive, but they include the Afghanistan and Iraq campaign medals, the Kosovo campaign medal, and multiple other medals, ribbons, and honors. John retired in October of 2019 and is now married with 4 kids. John Brown Jr., Joshua Brown, Parker Brown, and Jayla Belknap. You might see him around school once in a while. I think he's here, he said all but 10 days last year in a substitute teaching role. In addition to being one of our substitute teachers, he's also a softball and baseball umpire. Some of his hobbies include umpiring, spending time with his family, photography, fishing, watching sports, including hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Mr. John Brown.
Okay, the crutches were not my idea. These are gonna work. I got it. All right, first of all, I want to thank Colonel Goodhouse. Not used to saying that. Mr. Turgeon, Mr. Vandell, Ms. Van Hoy, all of the staff, faculty, that's on wheels. Okay. I want to thank the students for letting me be a part of this today. I get to be a part of your lives in and out all the time. This is kind of special, so I appreciate that. Most importantly, I want to thank my fellow vets for letting me be a part of this today, to be with you guys. And your families, and your friends, the ones who've given us all the support over the years, they're the ones who really deserve it. So, big thanks to them. So, when I was asked to speak today, as Colonel Goodhouse says, the last 12 years of my career, I was forced into the public affairs world. After I had a broken neck and couldn't be in the combat role anymore, I had to go into public affairs. And as a public affairs person, you go to school and they teach you how to write speeches and deliver speeches and address the public so that you can tell the Army story. So I'm thinking, oh, public speaking, that's kind of my thing. It's easy, I can do that. Well, there's basically 3 things that they teach you really need to know before going into giving a speech or speaking in public. Number 1, you got to make sure that your message is timely. Well, we're talking about veterans on Veterans Day. Timeliness is not an issue. Check. Easy. Number 2, be the SME. SME, S-M-E, subject matter expert. Talking about being a veteran and myself. I think I know those 2 things pretty well. 27 years in service, and it's me. So, check. Got it. Third thing, be able to relate to your audience and have your message resonate to everyone that is going to hear you. So we have everything from preschool at 4 years old to Marines pushing 80. That might be a little tougher to relate everybody together, but then I got to thinking, no, that's easy. Crayons. Because you're either going to color or eat them, and either way everybody's happy. So, keep crayons in mind. When Veterans Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July come around, people meet veterans and they thank us for our service. And they ask us questions. What's it like to be a veteran? How does being a veteran make you different? How does it feel to to have served your country. And I can tell you, all these guys sitting out here in front of you, we pretty much 99% of the time will give you the same answer. It's an honor. It was a privilege. We are proud of what we've done. And that's all true. But it doesn't paint the picture. It doesn't really fully answer the question, but it gives the person who asked the question some kind of an answer that makes them feel good about asking the question. So today, I'm going to try and take that 99% not answered question and maybe drop that 99% down to about a 50% and kind of give you a better picture of what it's like. So, what I want you to do is go back to the crayons. Every one of us at some point in time has been in school or in a class, and the teacher gave you a blank piece of paper and a box of crayons or colored pencils and said, draw me a picture of what your life is like. So I want you to think about your own big white sheet of paper and your colored pencils or your crayons and what your life is like when you're drawing a picture. And I'm going to tell you kind of what mine is like as a veteran. So the first thing you're going to have to do is kind of put a background on your picture. Now for most of you, growing up around here, your background's going to have probably some grass and maybe some rolling hills and a nice blue sky, something nice and serene. But the folks sitting out here, our background's going to be kind of diverse. There'll be some of that, but there's also going to be some jungle. There's going to be some desert. There's going to be mountains with lots of snow and some ugly places. When I was writing this, the first thing that came to mind was right after 9/11, I went to Kosovo and was stationed in the mountains. We had 10 foot of snow in the mountains through the winter in 2002. Got back, and 2 months later, was in January, February 2003, was in the Kuwaiti desert waiting to cross the border to go into Iraq. We went from minus 20 degrees to 120 degrees in about 60 days. So my background picture is probably a little different than yours, but it's still part of that background. And when you draw your background, you're probably thinking about a nice day. And you just put a nice sun up in the sky. Make it nice and peaceful, nice and pretty. But for us, we get a little bit creative because it's not all about one time a day. Because we work everything 24 hours a day. So for us, the middle of the page is probably bright and sunny, but on one side it'll be kind of a sunrise, and the other side will be a sunset. Because we're going to need that in our background to show the different parts of our service and the different parts of our career from the time we started and through where we've been. Now, once you've got your background built, next you're going to want to start adding people. Growing up around here, you're going to probably have your family. That's going to be the first start. And then you'll put in your friends and folks who are close to you, all in the area. For us, probably a little different. In that middle section, our bright section, our happy section, we're going to have our family too. Our families are right. That's what we come home to every time. On the sunrise side, we're probably going to have the folks who taught us, our mentors, our early leaders, the ones who gave us the skills we needed to get to where we were going in our careers. And as you travel across the page, you'll have the soldiers that you led, the people that you led. And then when you get to that far side of the page, you'll have the ones that you have to remember because they're not there anymore. But that's okay too, because that's a part of our life. And we keep those set. We keep those close. But it's not just those folks. You also have to put your friends as well as your foes. And I say foes, I don't say enemies. An enemy is an idea. We fight against terrorism, and we fight against hatred, and we fight against racism. We don't fight against people. In other countries, they have armies too, and they have soldiers just like us. They're not bad people. They're not evil dictator people. They're just soldiers like us. They believe in their country, and they believe in their family, their friends, and they're doing what they think is the right thing to do. I don't consider them bad people. They're just foes. They're on the opposite side of the same line. So they're going to be on there too soon. But those are the kind of people we have on our picture. And then you've got to have something on your picture that shows your purpose in it. So growing up around here, with my folks, it would have been horses, because we grew up on a horse farm. You may have farm implements. You may, if you're a teacher, you may have a picture of a school. If you're a welder, you may have some welding machines. If you're a plumber, you may have pipes. You're going to have something that shows what you do or what you want to do in your life in that picture. For us, it's kind of easy. We just put a big old flag right in the middle of that picture. Because no matter what we do, that's where our focus has been when we follow it. Now that flag is probably not pristine. It's probably not pretty. It's a little worn. It's a little tattered. It's seen its way around the block a time or two. But it's still there. And we're still proud of it. And then on your picture somewhere, when you're drawing your picture, you need to show what you believe in. Don't get me wrong. Different people believe in different things. And this is not about some sort of a religious thing or anything like that. Maybe it's superstition. Maybe it's just about lucky charms. I don't know. But everybody has something they believe in, something that keeps them motivated. So you want to put that in your picture somewhere. Maybe a shamrock or something. As veterans, I kind of refer to it as faith. You have to have some sort of faith. You have faith in each other. You have faith in those around you. You have faith in a system. Whether you want to believe it or not, you have faith in some sort of a power, karma, kismet, luck, whatever the case may be, something is going to get you through to the next day. There is something that is going to push you or get you through. And it doesn't matter what the guys or gals sitting beside you look like, what they do on their time off, where they go, how they act, where they worship, what they eat, it has nothing to do with any of that. It has everything to do with you have faith in the fact that they believe the same stuff you do about what you're doing, and they're going to have your back when the time comes. Because you all believe in the same thing. Now, when it comes to superstition, I'm not going to say that I'm not one pastor. I'll give you an example. From the time I joined the service, my grandmother would give me a guardian angel pen, little tiny pen, every time I went to a dangerous location. This started in the early 90s when we would head down to South America. Followed all the way through into the Balkans. But before 9/11, my grandmother passed away. And when the war in Iraq first started, there was no guardian angel pen coming to me to take with me to Iraq. And I was scared. I didn't think I was going to make it. If I didn't have a guardian angel with me, I wasn't going to come home. Superstition, faith, karma, kid, whatever, I had to have it. So 2 days before we shipped out, went straight down to the tattoo parlor, got a guardian angel put on my shoulder. I've had that one touched up 3 times since then, but I keep her fresh on my shoulder. So much so, I believe in that so much so, that every time one of my kids gets old enough to start driving, my kids will start getting guardian angel pens. Does it do anything? Does it really mean anything? Probably not. Makes me feel a little better. Now, you've drawn your picture. You've shown who you are and what you are. Now, what do you do with it? I'm going to bet that most of you kids sitting here, when you were younger, probably everybody sitting on this side of the room for sure, and y'all probably did it not too long ago. Took that picture home, and Mom and Dad took the little magnets and stuck it up on the refrigerator, and that thing hung on the refrigerator for about the next 2 or 3 years because they were super proud of it. Because that's what we did. Those of us sitting here in the middle of the room, that's not what we do. We take that story of what we've done and where we've been, and we fold it nice and tight. We take all those experiences and we fold them up and we secure them to where nothing can hurt it, and we put it in our pocket, right close to our heart, and we hold on to it. So nobody can take it and nobody can touch it. And that's why nobody knows what we've done. And that's why it's hard for us to tell people what we've done, because it's hard to share. Now, that doesn't necessarily make it a good thing, because sometimes it's a little hard on some of us folks years and years after they've gone by. I've got a lot of friends that still struggle with it. But we're trying. And things like this that give us an opportunity to share our stories make things better for us. And for that, we thank you. And that's why we like to come see you. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for the opportunity to get up here and speak to you all today. Thank each one of you veterans for your service and for the opportunity to share my story. Thank you.
John, thank you. I appreciate it. We are very lucky to have you and your family as a member of our Knox County community. At this time, we will hear the Knox County High School Band present the service medley, which includes the song of each of our services. Our elementary students will simultaneously provide a banner parade to honor each service. I'd invite each of our veterans to stand and be recognized when you hear your service song. one more banner. One of my favorite parts. Now we will have a brief video presentation for our veterans.
In 1947, the first Veterans Day was celebrated in Birmingham, Alabama. Originally called Armistice Day, Veterans Day is celebrated on November 11th because it is considered the end of the war and end all wars, as this was when the Treaty of Versailles was signed, marking the end of World War I. Veterans Day falls on November 11th to not only mark the historical significance, but to also highlight the sacrifices the veterans have made. It is a celebration to honor their love of the country, the patriotism, and their willingness to serve.
Find something to say to a veteran. Of course, it would be thank you for your service. I have lots of family members that have served and want to know that you're loved. I very much appreciate it. I may not know you, but I love you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all of your service and the effort that you put forth to guarantee our freedoms.
Thank you for your sacrifice and the time you spent so that we can have freedom here in America.
They sacrificed their lives so I don't have to sacrifice mine or my family's.
If it wasn't for veterans, I probably wouldn't be able to be at school today.
Veterans have helped me feel safer when I come to school and in my daily life.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you saving me out of
I'm thankful for veterans because they save our country, and people for veterans because they fought for our country to be free.
I served veterans because they saved our country. I'm thankful for the sacrifices for freedom. I'm thankful for our sacrifices. Those that we made to protect our country and give us freedoms.
Before mail call, and in keeping with a great tradition begun by Ed Anderson last year, I'd like to invite our veterans to join me in reciting our oath of enlistment. And I'd ask that our students in the audience pay special attention to the words we use in this sacred vow. So all veterans, if you would please rise and raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and those of the officers appointed over me, according to regulations and the uniform The bus will be out here tomorrow morning in the parking lot. I look forward to seeing you then. One of our final events is to conduct a mail call for each of our veterans here today. Each veteran will be presented with a letter that was written by one of our Knox County students. I know I have a couple of volunteers here. If anybody else would like to volunteer and come up, please do so. And I'll start calling names momentarily. Ed Anderson. Bill Baker. There. Ken Berry. Thomas Bowman. Sean Branch. John Brown. Red Callahan. Mike Cameron. Eldon Campbell. Emmer Carson. Larry Clark. Bob College. Sherry Cooper. Virgil Doss. Jeff Edwards. Mike Fox. Kent Frankie. Evan Glasgow. Jim Glasgow. Larry Goodson. Hannah Green. Harley Hanlon. Aaron Hansis. Bernard Hansis. Jeremy Head. Elwet Husted. Bob Kiefer. Larry Kinman. Donnie Lay. Thomas Leafy. Gary McKenzie. Lonnie Murr. Bruce Normile. Rex Osborne. Ronald Rainey. Nick Setzer. Yvonne Shanley. Pete Schultz. Randy Schultz. Jerry Stefina. Elmer Strange. Mark Stutzman. Jim Trimble. Gene Valentine. Steve Valentine. Zachariah Van Sickle. Angela Wilson. Robert Yale. David Roush. Ben McKay. Wade Goodson.
He had the lead.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. Chase Stoll. James Griggs. Sam Schultz. Elsa Husted. And David Fagan. Are there any veterans here we missed? There you go. We have a week myself here. Dan Dollar, Phil Gregg. While they're passing those out, I have just a couple of announcements. There is a soup supper here today in the cafeteria at 4:30, open to all veterans and all community veterans who want to be a part of recognizing our veterans. Please come out. That's hosted by the American Legion. I would also like to extend to all veterans who are here, who are not a member of a veterans service organization, to consider. I heard it put a great way on TV the other day. If we're nothing more than helping you to navigate the VA system, which is not a very simple system, I think it's well worth your time to join one of those two organizations and get some assistance as you try to work your way through those and I guess kind of come to closure on your time in service. They both do a great job, so again, please, I would recommend their brochures for the Legion on the chairs. There's a table in the back. I would like to invite you to stop by for the VFW, depending on whichever organization you're eligible to join. I would encourage you to join. To close our ceremony today, I would ask that you please rise as we honor our war dead with a rendition of Taps by Ken Hagerly and Lisa Blake. Taps is a bugle call. It's played at dusk during flag ceremonies and, most importantly, at military funerals by the United States Armed Forces. It's playing at lights out, continues as one of my favorite memories from my time in the Army. So at this time, Ken and Lisa, if you would, please. Once again, thank you for attending this year's event. Please arrive safely on the way home. This concludes this year's Veterans Day.